For the many Germans who don't know you, and the non-Germans in this room, can you tell us a little bit who you are? Because you're a very, very famous person in Germany. I think you are often on television.
Yes, Frank Thelen. I'm founding companies for 20 years now. Went through a lot of ups and downs. Also doing investments. And my background is software development. And yeah, I'm also doing as a hobby a TV show called Shark Tank, or in Germany, Die Höhle der Löwen.
Okay, and if you look at the current state where we are in, yeah, we went from kind of devices to web to apps. I mean, you're really a visionary, and you have interesting views to share. There's a big discussion about native web, apps, etc. Where do you think we are going, especially considering the kind of big brother web, small sister mobile, and the sister is getting bigger and bigger, and many companies, many clients of us have now more revenues. Later on, we have all the dating guys here. Just before the party, we are
That's perfect.
listening to the dating guys on how you improve your game at the party starting at 10 p.m. tonight. But how do you think this is all playing out?
Yeah, it's really insane. I mean, I'm building now stuff for 20 years, and we really come from the CD-ROM era, and I still can imagine receiving my first CD-ROM drive with 650 megabytes, and everything changed, and we created all those multimedia frameworks. Then came the web, and then came the web is dead, and everything is an app. And basically, nobody has real interest in the web anymore, because Apple and Google and Microsoft, they want to make sure that you run on their system. So they don't want an open web, but they want that you use the closed system, iOS, Android, Windows Phone, or Windows tablet. And that's why I pretty early believed that native apps are the way to go, and that's how we built Wunderlist, Outbank, and all the startups that we invested. So we truly believe in the native apps. And when we think where we're going, I believe we still have some things to do to get the experience right, build native apps on all platforms. The cloud needs to learn zero knowledge so that everything is encrypted, because that's a big topic. And if we look at the tools we're using today, they're not encrypted. And this will take like 2 or 3 years, I believe, still. And then will come something new. And I believe what's coming next is 3D printing, is electric engines, is big data. Then a lot of stuff comes together, and then I believe the focus will be gone from apps, and we will see a lot of very different stuff, which I'm very, very excited about. So it's interesting, all these different things, like in 20 years, changed.
Self-driving cars?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a big leap. If you see how stupid we are today building cars with the oil engines, and it's not the DNA of us, of the apps. Like, we think data, we think this all the time, but all the physical world is still in an old world that's not connected, that not has the DNA of us, or the valley, or whatever you want to call it. And this will now go on all of kind of products, and then cars like Tesla, planes, boats, whatever, will be very, very different.
What is Uber doing when the cars don't have any more drivers?
I don't know. That's something. Uber is really killing me, because we've been one of the first investors in MyTaxi with the great founder and CEO Nick Mevis, and so we have been before Uber, and we also had a big growth story. So the funny thing is now Uber or MyTaxi is being disrupted by self-driving cars already. And in the last press call, Elon clearly said he's building a fleet of cars. I mean, he said, well, I'm not sure, but if you listen to it, you really understand, he's now building a big fleet of self-driving cars, so he will become a taxi service, and nobody then needs Uber or MyTaxi anymore, but everybody is calling it Tesla. And yeah, so that's a pretty new and very exciting industry, a very big industry, with MyTaxi, GetTaxi, Uber, a lot of big players, and they are now already being disrupted. So the speed is really insane.
Disrupting the disruptors.
Yeah, that's how it is.
So you do a lot for Europe, you do a lot for Germany on the internet, on the digital side. You are ambassador of entrepreneurs. You speak their language, but you also speak the language of the politicians.
Try.
Try to understand them, and they try to understand you. But I think it's common knowledge that you're quite close to Merkel and other politicians who should care about the digital world in Europe. What job they do, and do you think they could do something better, and how do you help them?
Well, I believe what's very good, what changed in the last 2 or 3 years, that really top politicians in Germany have interest. So they're really taking a lot of time spending with founders, understanding startups, and that had really changed. The years before, we didn't been really on the radar, but now we're on the radar, and politicians in Germany talk to us and try to understand what we are doing. And there have been some good initiatives, like the EIF, European Investment Fund. I believe it's a great tool.
That's an older initiative,
It's
no?
an older initiative, but they still keep it alive.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. It works. Like the High-Tech Gründerfonds, it works. But when I look into the general thing, like the tax and laws they're putting in place, it's a big problem. Like
why is that? I mean, there's so much stuff coming out of Brussels right now. I'm going there on the 23rd and 24th, but why is this?
I'm so frustrated. So the thing is, you talk to Angela Merkel. We just had a recent meeting with Schäuble, with many good people on the table, and we try to explain the things. But then, I don't know, 3 weeks later, you see the paper again coming out of his office, and you say, what the fuck? I'm sorry. So I believe they're doing a lot of good things, but when it comes to anti-angel law, when it comes to value-added tax for funds, they should do so much more. And here in the UK, they have done better things. So they have set up the right
By the way, talking back about the topic from earlier, Uber and My Taxi, I mean, you know, we were involved there. I mean, that was one of those examples where an American company raised not 10 times more money, more like 100 times more money, and competition from that aspect was kind of completely pointless. It's like a lightweight against TRX fighting. You can be as smart, as hardworking, and as lucky. Luck is the #1 success reason in entrepreneurship, but it wouldn't work. I mean, how can we change that?
So we need to set now the right framework also from politics, because we have great funds like Lakestar and new bigger funds coming up, so we're slowly growing the ecosystem. But then also the politics have to kill finally the anti-angel law, to kill the value-added tax on funds and so on. Because when you are a founder in Europe right now, like My Taxi and Uber, it was really hard. I mean, Nick is a great founder and fought very hard, but Uber got billions, or I don't know how many they now raised, and it's hard to get these amount of money in Europe, and we have to change this to be competitive so that big companies can be built in Europe so that we sustain and have a lot of great jobs. So I'm worried about that state.
So you're on TV a lot, no?
Well, yeah.
Why do you do this? How did this start? Did they ask you? Did you ask them? Or how did you end up to become a TV star as a techie?
It was a conference like yours, and somebody came along and say, hey, there's a new TV show coming to Germany. It's very successful in the US. It's called Shark Tank. And my neighbor is producing it, and I was just by coincidence, and I said, I don't like TV. But then we talked, and they showed me what they have done in US with Shark Tank, and I really liked what they've done, and I said, yes, I will do it. And that's something many people ask me, like, why are you doing this? It's crazy. You're having a good investment business. Why are you going to TV? Because the power of TV, with every week 2.5 million people learning about entrepreneurship, learning about how to pitch, learning about what is a startup, is really important. It's a small piece, a small puzzle piece to the whole ecosystem, but it's also important. I remember when I founded, like 20 years ago, my father and my mother had no clue what I was talking about. I want to found a company. They said, but try to get to Telekom, to Siemens. You're not stupid. You can get a job there. What are you trying to do? And then I just talked today with Christian Geiser, the founder of Kaufda. And he's from VHU, a very great university. And they were all standing in a bar. And they went to McKinsey, to whatever. And he said, oh, I'm founding a company, like, I don't know, 10 years ago. And the girl said, oh, you didn't get a job? We're sorry. And that has changed. That has changed now. Founding is cool. Founding is positive. Entrepreneurship for many reasons, because of support of politics, because of unicorns, but also because we are on TV and telling that this is the way to go, and that it's a good way. So it's about telling the people founding a company is a good option.
So we're pulling in the same directions, making Europe more digital and helping to bring out great startups. Does your TV show bring great startups? Are there some success stories?
Well, yeah.
Or is it more like a show? It's a good show.
So it's a mixture. It is a show, but I really want to build great companies out of it. And here's just sitting one CEO, Florian from meine Spielzeugkiste. He has built a great business, growing fast, great KPIs. We have Little Lunch, and we are selling now every single month for over 1 million euros soup. And next month, I believe we will sell for 2 million euros soup in 1 month. So it's soup.
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 What kind of soup?
So HelloFresh in even more convenient. It's very healthy bio soups. You just put into the whatever you want to heat it, and then you can eat it. It's done from a very good chef. So it's outstanding soups, even more convenient. Basically you get food at home, food in the office. And I mean, 2 million per month revenue after, I don't know, 3 months, it's doing okay. So yeah, some is show, but I'm really trying, or I believe we can build also great companies out of it and then create the new millionaires that then can fund again. So it's not show, it's also hopefully sometimes big business.
And you're one of these people who have failure, learn out of it, and do it better. And I think you're the CEO of Scanboat.
Yeah.
Apart from all the other stuff you do, having dinners and lunches with Merkel, being on television, investing in companies, and being asked a million questions from people like me. So tell us about this kind of day job part of your life.
So yeah, it was a very challenging story, but also important that we talk about failure, I believe. So after we invested in some very successful companies, we, the team, so Mark Sieberger, Alex Koch, and I thought, hey, let's build something, again, being a founder only, and we wanted to change how we work with documents, and we raised a lot of capital. We worked very hard, but we didn't get the traction that we needed. The engagement was very bad. So we won a lot of prizes. Apple and Microsoft loved us. Angela Merkel gave the Innovation for Society Award. But the company, the product itself, did not work. And it was very, very hard to face this. And that's important to understand. You can fail. If you try something very hard, and it was a bold mission, you can fail. And then we had around 60 people, really great engineers, and we had to let them go. And we could only keep 10 of them, and then build ScanBot, which is only a scanning app. So we had to scale down from a very, very big vision, venture capital, growth-driven company, into a small company doing only one thing great, scanning, and then being cash flow positive from day one because we hadn't venture capital anymore, but we managed it. So we have now 3 million users. It's going okay, but it was a very tough thing for me as an entrepreneur and founder, and say I have to let go of the big vision and build something small, but that has to work. Yeah, tough time, but that's entrepreneurship. You also have to fail.
I love it, learning from failures. Frank, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Marco.